Well, we really don't have that much time off. When they call it recess, I just grimace because there's no recess because we're stuck in Washington most of the year. There are a lot of people in South Carolina who want to talk to me about different issues, and so this is a time when we've got some time out of Washington to get all around the state, talk to people, hear what they're thinking. That's what keeps me focused in Washington, is to know what people in South Carolina are interested in. We're starting the recess working on the immigration issue. We get so many calls about our border and the fact that we're still not controlling it, that we haven't completed the fence that we promised the American people we would complete. And so this morning we announced the website that's called CompleteDefenseNow.com. And the whole point of that site is to keep people updated on everything that's going on in the border, how the fence is coming, which we now have a bill that would complete the fence by 2010. We need to make more progress than we've been making because we're still having not only illegal workers who cross the border, but human trafficking, drug trafficking, and real security problems with the potential of terrorists. So we're going to make border security a big part of our traveling across the state. And frankly, we create a lot of heartbreaking situations when we encourage people from all over the world to try to come here illegally, believing that sooner or later they can become citizens. And so completing the fence is just really the first step in creating a legal immigration system that works for all of us, as Americans and immigrants who we want to welcome from all over the world. But if we can't control our borders, we can't have a legal immigration system. The next step, which we talked some about this morning, is just to have a verifiable worker ID system that makes it easy for the worker and the employer to quickly decide if that person is legal, and they don't have to go through all the paperwork and delays. And so we see it as a two-step process, beginning with border control, verifiable worker ID system, and then the third step would just be a legal system that works, where we can welcome people from all over the world who are trying to use the legal process to come to America.
And in addition to going to the website and checking that out, seeing where you stand, what else can South Carolina voters, the American public, do, I guess, if they're interested in a fence or they're interested in furthering this war?
We found out during the first immigration debate, when we were able to stop the large amnesty, is the reason we were able to stop it is because of all the letters, the emails, the phone calls to congressmen and senators. And it would really help us who are working on controlling the borders if all congressmen and senators would hear from their constituents that this is important, that we believe that this is compassionate, actually, to have an enforceable system and not to encourage people to come here and leave their families for years at a time, maybe never to return, because we've created an opportunity for them by not controlling our borders in the first place. We're also going to be working on a lot of new economic opportunities that we see in the state, from the expansion of the runway in Charleston, as well as new businesses and distribution centers that have opened in the state. We're just going to highlight some of those over the next few days. Well, we will be visiting the Eastman plant, which is no longer associated with Kodak, but a big chemical company that's very important to the economy of South Carolina. We're visiting the new Walgreens distribution center in Anderson. Again, we'll be working with the people at the airport in Charleston on the expansion of those runways, which would allow a lot more commerce outside of Charleston and create probably more international flights for us, as well as more military missions, which are important to the economy. So meeting with business people all over the state for the next several days. And the economy in South Carolina, for the most part, is doing well. Even our housing market is holding up relative to the housing market in the rest of the country. In the Senate, we've been debating budgets, and unfortunately the Democrats were able to pass their budget, which will increase taxes tremendously by letting the Bush tax cuts expire. that creates real pressure on our economy, because sending people a check for a few $100s is not going to fix our economy, but creating a predictable tax system and letting businesses know what they can expect over the next 5-10 years would do more to help our economy. So I'm not sure with the Democrat majority we're going to be able to get the things through that we really need to fix our economy. They may get some more things through that are giveaways to make people feel better, but we're not, I'm afraid, going to be able to do anything that's real substantive as far as improving our economy. But so hopefully there's American people to keep our economy going, because I'm not sure the Congress is going to be much help. But it's been amazing to me to watch the debate on the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which is what we refer to as FISA, that the trial lawyers in the Democrat Party have so much power that they've held up the security of our country in order to be able to sue the telecommunication companies that help us with this surveillance process. If we ask a private company to help us with a federal mission, then certainly we need to exempt them from being dragged into court by trial lawyers like we allow our own businesses to do all the time. And they're not going to help us. They're not going to let us use their technology. And I've been on the ground in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I can see how we use this overseas, because we can identify from satellite cameras suspicious vehicles, for instance, in Afghanistan. And if we've got the technology working, we can actually monitor any cell phones that come from these suspicious vehicles. But if we accidentally cut into on someone who's not doing anything wrong, we could end up in court, the telecommunications company as well as the federal government. And we just cannot conduct an intelligence system that way. So I'm not sure what the Senate will do with the House bill. I hope we won't pass it. And I think it's just been irresponsible that the House has waited so long to pass anything, and then to do it with basically the trial lawyers in mind rather than the American people.